Now to the race for governor and an interesting twist in South Portland today. Governor Paul LePage appeared at an opening of a new virtual charter school in South Portland. There he was talking about not just welcoming in a new charter school, but also his larger battles, he says, trying to reform education in Maine. Here's what he had to say. Take a listen.
We've done everything possible that we can we've tried to work with the education system. We've tried to embarrass the education system.
There you have it. Governor Paul LePage talking in South Portland today. Let's get some instant analysis on what the governor's talking about here. I'm pleased to once again introduce our political analysts, Mike Cianchette and Cynthia Dill from our media partners at the Bangor Daily News as well. Thanks so much again for joining us today.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Let's go ahead and talk about this. Obviously, that's just a snippet of what the governor had to say today, but the sort of the lightning in the bottle there was where he talks about embarrassing the education system. Mike, let's go ahead and start with you. What do you think the governor's talking about when it comes to his battles with the education system, or trying to embarrass the education system?
Well, Greg, you know, the governor has put forward a pretty ambitious education reform agenda, whether it's making sure the community colleges and our university system works together, or challenging the teachers unions to put money up for teacher training that he's offered to match dollar for dollar from state funds. He's gotten pretty much nowhere between the educational system, some legislative Democrats, and the overall infrastructure of leadership in education in the state of Maine.
So you think he's expressing some frustration there with the pace of reform?
Very much so.
Cynthia, what do you think? Again, the word embarrass there seems like a pretty strong word to use, especially in context of not just the unions or anything like that, specifically the education system as a whole. How do you react to that?
Well, I would say that that's one of Governor LePage's accomplishments, that he has in fact embarrassed Maine's education system by making derogatory comments about school systems. He's graded schools, failed schools. He's made a comment that if you are stuck in public education, tough luck. So I think, unfortunately, the governor he battles people instead of trying to work with others to make change in an education environment. He's frustrated, but the frustration is his own making.
So you sense he is trying to include students when he talks about this?
I actually don't think he's trying to include students.
Yes.
I don't think he's trying to, but he
does.
He does. You know, he does impact students. I think their visions of themselves when he says a school is failing, or when he says that the Maine education system is nothing to be proud of. I think students take that to heart. What he's, I think, attacking are school unions and teachers unions.
Is that fair, Mike? Do you think?
Well, I think that's right, and I think school unions have stood in the way of a number of changes in the state, trying to make delivery of education to students that much better. Whether it is, teacher improvement and putting money towards teacher education, whether it's saying, not every school, not every traditional school works for every student. There's technical vocation, there's online vocation, and every time we turn the corner, the teachers unions have said, well, no, we have to keep it just as it is.
Interesting words. Cynthia, final word.
Well, the governor had a Republican legislature the first 2 years of his administration, and if he had an agenda that was workable and that was in the best interests of teachers and students, it would have passed, but it didn't.
We'll see how this continues to play out in the context of the governor's race as well. Thanks so much, Cynthia Dill, Mike Cianchette. Great to have you again.
Thank
Adrian,
you.
send it over to you.